All right, everyone. Before we get started, we'll do a little bit of housekeeping. Give people the use one more seconds to log on. My name is Shane Malman. I'm the director of programs and operations with the Nova Scotia Sport Hall of Fame, and we're really excited to have our hero chat today with one of the greatest Canadian athletes of all time. A couple things just to get started. We are recording the session, so we'll be able to share it with everyone afterwards. Um, Something very important, please leave your microphone on mute. Because once we go to speaker view, if you turn on your microphone, it will pick you up and you will be front and center of the presentation, and nobody wants to do that. So feel free to leave your camera on. We'll have an opportunity at the end to turn the mic on and say thank you to our special guest. Up in the corner, there's your views. It's best to do speaker view so you only see the people that are talking. And I think I can speak for Bruce. We got a lot of questions sent to us. So we won't be able to take very many, if any, questions in the chat. So I'm just going to switch the view here. And then I'm going to pass it off to our CEO of the Nova Scotia Sport Hall of Fame and Olympic broadcaster, Bruce Rainnie.
Shane Mailman, thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. I think this might be a record number of schools that have signed on, and boy, I don't blame you. We have one of the greatest guests you could have. If you're in any province in Canada, this would be a guest you would love to have, and we're very lucky that she is Nova Scotian and she is ours, and we are so proud of her. So I'd like to welcome Ellie Black. Ellie, we'll let you say a few words off the top just to sort of say hello so people can see your face, and then we'll get to the questions, okay?
Okay, hi Bruce. Hi everyone. I'm super excited to be on this call with you guys. Thanks so much for taking the time to come on, and I'm excited to share some of my story with you all.
So, Ellie, the questions, we've done this once before, a couple of years ago, and the questions were great then. They are great again. Amazing how these kids can really dig to the heart of what the matter is here. So, I'm going to start with a question here. This is from the grade 4-5 class at Scottsburn Elementary School. This is Andrea Hayden's class. This is a great place to start. Why did you start gymnastics?
That's a great question. I actually didn't really know much about gymnastics. And so when I was young, I had a lot of energy and I was bouncing around. And someone actually suggested to my parents to put me in gymnastics and try it and see if that would be a fit for me, see if I could get some of my energy out. And I went into the gym and I just fell in love with it. It was so much fun. The environment was incredible. Going in to learn how to flip and tumble safely, it was something that just really sparked a passion in me. So I decided to stay and continue. And now that has become my career. I've been doing it ever since.
You've been basically at the same club for your whole career, haven't you?
I have. I train at Halifax Alta Gymnastics Club. It's in Halifax on Bears Road. And that's the club that I started at when I was about 6 or 7 years old. And I'm still training there today.
That's amazing. We have a question here from the teacher's name is Ethan Stoltz. I don't have an actual school, and one of his students is named Donovan. And this is a great question. Have you ever been nervous when you went out for a competition? And what did you do to help with the nerves?
That is a great question. I am always nervous when I go out for competitions. I think nerves are normal and they show that you care about what you are going out to do and what you're trying to set your mind to achieve. But I think it is about learning how to handle those nerves so you can perform under pressure, perform the way you've practiced. So for me, it's practicing many tools to be able to help manage those stresses and those anxieties. So I like to do a lot of visualization, visualizing in my head the outcome that I want to see. So making sure that it's a positive outcome and that helps boost my confidence. I do a lot of breathing to try and just bring down some of those nerves, calm my nervous system. And then I like to remind myself of all the hard work that I've done and how prepared I am, and that I know that I'm going to go out and I'm going to try my best, and that's all I possibly can do. So to take a little bit of pressure off the end result and just to focus on the process as I go about going into the competition.
Can you talk a little bit more? You hear a lot of athletes talk about breathing. and we all breathe. But when you talk about breathing before a competition, it means a little more, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, it's something that I do religiously between training and competition. It's something that you have to practice to get better at. You can't just, and like anything in school or in life, you need to be able to practice your skills to then be able to perform them the way you want. So I had to do a lot of practice on breathing, making sure that I found the right techniques that worked for me, something that was going to calm down my nervous system, even if it was just a couple breaths at a time or a little bit of a longer approach. But for me, it's really important to be able to calm down my nervous system, calm down my body, and then just kind of feel grounded before I go into training. But it is a skill that you want to practice. And I would highly recommend it out there because it just gives you a little bit of grounding, and clears your head so you can see with a clear perspective.
Here's a question from the grade six Ryan class at Hawthorne Elementary School. Who is someone you looked up to and helped your career?
Yeah, so actually, my coach now, David Kikuchi, he is a two-time Olympian. He went to the Olympics for gymnastics and he trained at my club when I was younger, when I was growing up. So I remember watching him on TV, going to the Olympic Games, and I thought, wow, that's amazing. That's super cool. He trains at my club and he went to the Olympic Games. I would like to do that someday. And I didn't know that I would be at four Olympics, many years later. But David actually became one of my coaches, and now he's my full-time coach. And he shared a lot of his wisdom and his knowledge and experiences along the way with me. So that was cool to see one of the role models that I looked up to coming from my club, my province, be able to reach that high level and then actually have a huge impact on my career and my journey. So he is still my coach. We work together every day, and I'm very grateful for that opportunity to be able to work with someone I looked up to when I was younger and made a huge impact on my dreams and my goals.
You mentioned the four Olympic Games, and very few athletes in any sport have ever gone to four Olympic Games. And here's a follow-up question from the students at grade 4 and 5, Medinsky at Beaverbank Kinsack Elementary School. You're going to smile at this one. It's a question from Brandon. He says, how much training does it take to get to the Olympics 4 times?
It takes a lot of training. It's a big commitment. But I think, like anything, when you have big goals and big dreams, it takes hard work, but that hard work, if it's something that you're passionate about, just comes naturally and you want to give it all you've got and you want to commit yourself and you want to go for it because that's how amazing things happen is when you really apply yourself and you put in that hard work to see where it's going to take you. So I train about 6 days a week, and it's my full-time job. I go to the gym. I train at Halifax Alta for about 4 or 5 hours a day. And then I go to the Canadian Sports Center Atlantic. So that is at the Canada Game Center out in Bears Lake. And I train there twice a week to do strength training. And then on top of that, I've got lots of extra stuff to make sure I keep my body healthy and functioning the way it needs to perform at the highest level. But it's a lot of training and it's a big commitment. But it's something that I found a balance for, especially when I was still going to school. I went to school during the day and I would train in the evenings, and I had to work a lot on time management and making sure I had time to get everything done. But it's taught me a lot of lessons, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to still do it as my career and all those lessons that I've learned to kind of find that balance of what it takes to get to four Olympic Games, that commitment that it has, to be in the gym every single day, training hard, even when you're maybe having a bad day.
Here's a question from Champlain Elementary School, the grade 5 class. Rachel Johns is the teacher. And you kind of mentioned how you keep your body healthy. One student wants to know, what kind of food do you eat to stay healthy?
Yeah, so I actually love cooking. I love being in the kitchen. For me, it's a place to be creative and try new things, try different healthy recipes. And, if you make a mistake, it's not a big deal. You're just in the kitchen, you're just, trying out a new recipe. But nutrition plays a really big part for elite athletes because it's fuel for our bodies. Like everyone in their classrooms today, you need to fuel your body so your brain can work properly. You can go to school, you can perform, you can do all the sports or music, whatever it is that you're passionate about. So for me in sports, I have to make sure that I fuel my body with these foods that are going to allow me to perform, to have energy, to recover, to think properly, and be able to function at that highest level. So nutrition plays a really big part for me. I eat a lot of protein. So I really like, we come from the East Coast. I really like seafood and I eat a lot of chicken as well. And then I've got a good balance in there with carbs and vegetables. So I really like sweet potato. And then for vegetables, I love broccoli. It's one of my favorites. So, and bananas are always my favorite fruit to grab on the go when I need a little bit of energy.
All right, some good nutrition advice there. You're going to love this question. Okay, here it comes. It comes from the 7 Riley and 7 Davis class at Pine Ridge Middle School in Kingston. You created a move in gymnastics that was so unique that it was named after you. So this student is asking, what is this move, the black, that you created?
Yes, so this was very exciting for me because it's really hard to create skills in gymnastics. Pretty much all the skills have already been done. So when you do a skill in gymnastics that no one else has ever done before, you get to submit it and then you get to try and perform it successfully and get it named after you. And it goes in our code of points where all our skills are. So I actually got the skill named after me on the uneven bars, the bars where they're uneven and you swing from bar to bar. And it's on the high bar. I do a big release move. So that means I let go of the bar. I do a flip over. I actually do a flip with a half turn. And then I catch the bar kind of in a weird grip that's mixed and I swing through. So it's hard to describe. You could go Google it on YouTube and go watch it. But this was very special to me because actually the uneven bars was one of the events I really struggled with when I was younger, and I wasn't good at the uneven bars at all. It was a weakness for me. And so this was something that I worked very, very hard towards over the course of, many years to slowly start improving at the uneven bars. And eventually it became a really big strength of mine. And then I got a skill named after me on that event. So I think the biggest lesson I had there was even if you're not great at something at the beginning, or maybe you don't like it, or you're unsure, you're unconfident, or you don't believe that you can get better, you need to open your mind to be able to try. Because if I had just believed that I couldn't get better on uneven bars, I wouldn't have a skill named after me. I wouldn't have, been able to work at it for so many years and it become a strength. So sometimes when we think we're not great at something at the beginning, you kind of got to give it a chance, keep working hard and open your mind to the possibilities that you actually can improve and you can get better and it can become a strength of yours. It might take some time, but I'm very proud of that. And that's one of the highlights of my whole career.
Beautiful. Hillcrest Academy has a question I know you'll like as well. This is from their physical education teacher. And a lot of people know this, but it's great to review this because this was a beautiful award for you. What does it mean to you to have been chosen for the Paris 2024 Fair Play Award for the Olympic Games?
Oh, that's a really great question. To me, I think that takes up the most space of maybe all of my accomplishments. I think it really speaks to who I am, the people who have surrounded me throughout my career, the community that I come from, this amazing province. I think that that's truly what sport is about. It's about being a good team player and supporting those people around you. And it's not always about winning or the end result, but it's about the process and what you learn and the kind of person you become through those experiences and how you can help others and give back. So at the Paris Olympic Games, I had a teammate from a different country. She's just a friend of mine, but she was competing for France and she had a really, really tough competition. And I'm sure those of you out there know that sometimes you have a bad day or you have a bad competition. You don't have the greatest performance and it's really hard and it's tough. And so in that moment, I just saw her first as a human being. That's all what we are. And I just wanted to support her because when you've been in that place, it really means a lot to have someone support you and have your back and remind you that it's okay. And, sometimes we make mistakes. So That's what I tried to do, and I received the Fair Play Award from the Paris Olympic Games, which was very special because they only give one of those out at the Olympics. So it was truly an honor to receive that. And yeah, I think that speaks words to where I come from and the community that's helped raise me in the sport and the values that I have from my experience in sports. So that's something that I try and lead by example with my team, and hopefully all of you can remind yourself that it's not always about that end result. It's about the process and who you are and how you conduct yourself throughout.
That's a great answer. Listen, we're going to go to the Valley Elementary School just outside of Truro, the grade 4 class. And we have a question here. What are your favorite medals that you've won?
Well, that is a great question. I have a few of them right here to show you. So this is one of my favorites. It's a little bit unique. I got this at the 2017 World Championships in Montreal. It was very special because it was the first ever all-around medal a Canadian gymnast has won at the World Championships, and it was my first World Championships medal. And I got to do it in front of all my friends and family. They came out. They drove all the way to Montreal to come watch and support me. So this was a very, very incredible medal for me. And then I also have two other World Championships medals here, which I won in 2022 in Liverpool in the UK. And this one here, it's a bronze medal. It was very exciting for us. It was the first team medal that we have won in gymnastics ever. So our team won bronze. We qualified directly to the Olympic Games in Paris. So that was a historic result for us. And the team aspect is my absolute favorite. So to win this medal, I think that is also one of the highlights for me because you got to do it with your team, support each other, go out there and win together and create history. So those medals are very special to me. And I also won a silver medal on the balance beam, which is one of my specialties as well. It's a very tough event. And, I've had a few times where I've made the beam final and I've fallen. So it was really nice to make the beam final, to come away with that silver medal for Canada. And then I also have a few just we always like the gold medals, but these are from the Pan American Games. I won the all around in both Pan American Games. So that was really exciting for a Canadian to do that. It was the first time in a very long time. And then I was able to go back a couple years later and defend my title. So very exciting. Those are some of my favorite medals from some of the more recent years.
Yeah, I bet you got a big trophy case. Keeps getting bigger too, which is nice. Here's some questions from the Clark Rutherford Memorial School. These are the grade 4 or 5 students. And Madison Van Tassel says, can you guess how many countries you have visited while being a gymnast?
I think I tried to count recently, but it must be around 20 different countries. I can't remember. I should make a list and I should count, but I have traveled far and wide around the world, and I've been to a lot of smaller countries in Europe. I've also been to farther away countries. I've been to Australia. So I think one of my favorite places to travel though for gymnastics and where it's taken me has been Japan. My first coach, he was Japanese and he came from Japan, and we took a club meet to go compete in Japan when I was very young. And I just really loved the experience of traveling there, the different food, the different culture. The people were so friendly, and our club has a strong background in the Japanese background. So I think that is just one of the coolest places that I've been able to travel for gymnastics. And there's been so many other places around the world as well.
We today, Ellie, I think we have probably close to 9,000 kids watching this today, all across the province, which is amazing. And here's a question that I think is really insightful from a student at École Lamarchand St. Thomas School. This is Julie Duguay Myatt's class. Ava Shepherd is her name. And she says, how do you feel when you know that so many kids want to be just like you?
Oh my gosh, that is a great question. It honestly, it fills my heart. I am just so honored to be a role model for so many young kids around the province and across the country and around the world. And I think for me, it's something special because role models are so important. And I had a lot of great role models growing up. And if I can just even have the slightest impact and hopefully inspiring any one of you to find something that you're passionate about and work really hard and go for it, and not to worry about, where you come from, the background that you have. If you have a dream and you work hard, you can make that a possibility. That's the biggest thing for me. It also fuels me to do what I do every single day, knowing that I have so many young individuals who are looking up to me and seeing that even when I win or when I lose, it's okay. And we're human and we go through this process. And I'm just a human being like you. I've come from a small city, a small province, and I've been able to go to 4 Olympic Games and make that possible. So to me, it's just an incredible honor, and I'm so grateful for everyone's support. And I hope that one day you guys can kind of follow in my footsteps, whatever passion that may be for you. But just to really enjoy what you do and then kind of be able to pay that forward for the generation coming after you.
Beautiful answer. Jody O'Donnell is the teacher. It's the 4-5 class at Robert Kemp Turner Elementary. What's it like to compete against Simone Biles?
Wow. That's what I have to say. It's wow. She is such an incredible athlete and human being. She is definitely an athlete that you don't see all the time come out. You can see she is one of the best of all time in gymnastics and one of the best athletes I think there ever has been. So it's truly an honor to be able to have competed with her for so many years and to call her a friend of mine. We've been through a lot of experiences together, multiple Olympic Games, different cycles, lots of obstacles we've had to overcome. But I think you definitely see that even Simone Biles is human, and we all have our own struggles here and there. And so it's so important for us to support one another, even if we are competitors. So always going out on the competition floor with Simone, it's incredible. It's so much wow factor. She is an incredible athlete and competitor, so fierce going out there. And she's just been able to also break a lot of barriers in the sport. She's broken down lots of barriers, paved the path for females in sport and what we're able to accomplish. So I think that is truly inspiring for me. And yeah, I'm just so inspired to be able to have shared the competition floor with her so many times and competed with her and just had that opportunity to be in her presence as well.
You talk about being in her presence. Why don't you let everyone know what you did? I guess it was from October to or through December through much of the United States with Simone Biles.
Yes, so in the fall after the Paris Olympic Games, from I was gone from September to kind of mid-November. I was in the US and I was on a Gold Over America tour. So it's called the GOAT Tour. It's Simone Biles Gymnastics Tour. We toured all across the US. We did 32 shows, 30 cities. Over the course of 2 months, we lived on a tour bus, kind of like rock stars, and we got to tour the country performing gymnastics, meeting some incredible young athletes out there, meeting parents, being able to share our stories and hopefully inspire those in the audience to know that you are unique and different in the way you are. And that is so amazing. And you should shine bright. You're golden in your own way. And really to embrace what makes you special and unique. So we just celebrated all of our amazing accomplishments and celebrated our amazing sport, and we were able to perform and just enjoy together without the stress and pressure of competition. And it was really amazing because it brought together athletes from across the US, but also around the world to celebrate in the sport. So that was an incredible experience. I was grateful that Simone asked me to come join for the tour, and that was my second time doing the Gold Over America tour. I did it after the Tokyo Olympics, and then I got the opportunity to go again after this Paris Olympics.
Okay, I think we have time for two more questions. We'll take this to about 10:35. Students from the 3-4 class, this is Ms. Ryan's class at Bel Air School in Dartmouth. What does sportsmanship mean to you? What does
That
that
is,
look like?
yeah, that is a really, really great question. And sportsmanship to me is huge. I think for me, it's about supporting those other people around me and helping them even when you don't need to or you don't have to. Whether it is your immediate teammates or someone else that you are, maybe you don't know them or maybe they're not on your team, but it's about having good sportsmanship and seeing that if someone needs support or someone needs help, or you can maybe give some of your experience, share some guidance with someone else, or just, be able to give some emotional support, whatever that is. I think that's what being a good sportsman, like having good sportsmanship, being a good team player is. And when you're winning and losing, making sure that you're just supporting and you're congratulating, because it's not always about that end result. Again, it's about that process. It's about who you are and what you do and how you can support everyone who goes through kind of those same obstacles and journeys as you do. Because when you're faced in that position, you would love for someone to come over and come to be able to support you. But I think it's such an important part of sport and everyday life. You can be a great team player in every aspect of life. And I think it shows that you can be caring and you can also be competitive and you don't have to sacrifice one or the other. You can be both. So I think it's very important. It teaches you a lot of great life lessons as well. And to me, it always helps me to know that I can help someone else. And it motivates me to kind of continuously be better and support those people around me.
Okay, here's a great question from Justin Burns' class, grade 5-6 teacher at St. Stephen's Elementary. Do you think someday that you will coach gymnastics and teach kids?
Yes, oh my gosh. So I don't have a group of my own, but I do sub. So I fill in for when some of the other coaches are away or my teammate, she's gone and her group needs a coach. I love going in to work with the younger athletes. Their passion is so exciting and it really motivates and inspires me in my daily training. So I think I will definitely want to share my experience and my knowledge and wisdom with the next generation and help to coach when I have a little bit more time to do so. But it's really something that I'm passionate about. I love gymnastics. I've had incredible opportunities and experiences through sport, and I want to be able to kind of give that back and help other athletes to have these same experiences that I've been able to have.
Okay, and here's the wrap-up question. And I saw this question or a form of it, I think about 15 times. So I'm going to try to just paraphrase it for you. If all goes well, we know that you're a four-time Olympian, the only Canadian gymnast ever to do that. A lot of kids want to know, is it a goal for you to be a five-time Olympian?
That's a really, really great question. So it would be kind of cool to be able to be like, hey, I went to this amount of Olympic Games. But I think the biggest thing for me is just to continue doing the sport as long as I have the passion and joy and love for it. And I can, physically do so. It's a tough sport on your body, but I really am passionate about gymnastics and I still feel like I have a lot to accomplish, even though I have accomplished a lot. I think there's always room for growth and improvement and exploration. So I'm still training. I'm currently still training. I'm taking it year by year, but I think I could train for one more Olympic Games. It would be pretty incredible to be able to go to 5 Olympic Games. Again, nothing is guaranteed, so you never know, but it's kind of a year by year basis. As long as I'm enjoying what I'm doing and I'm still able to, be competitive and successful at that high level, I'm going to continue as long as that possibly can go. So hopefully we'll see you in another 4 years at the Olympics. But we'll take it day by day and work towards getting there.
Yeah, that sort of sounded like a yes, but that's as far as we'll push you. That's a great answer. I want to bring Shane Mailman back in to wrap this up. Ellie, on behalf of the Hall of Fame, and I'm guessing 8 to 9,000 students, wonderful messages. Great to have you on this, and you're a provincial treasure. We don't take it for granted. Thanks for everything.
Thank you. Thank you all for tuning in today. It's so lovely to see all your faces. It's very inspiring for me, and I hopefully feel that you guys feel a little bit inspired and there's some messaging you can take away and implement in your everyday life. I see a couple posters out there. You guys are awesome. I really, really appreciate all your support. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in today.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Ellie, for taking some time out of your busy schedule to talk to all these students in Nova Scotia. We like to do a little thing at the end of all of our virtual hero chats and give the students the opportunity to thank you by turning their mics on. So feel free if you guys and girls want to do that now, you can, and you can give Ellie a warm goodbye, I guess, at this point. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. Thanks again, Ellie. Talk